us. We're going to talk a little curling now. We've got Dennis Gall with us, the Watertown Curling Club. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I've done an interview in the past on this, but even just talking a little off air, it still is amazing to me what is involved in this sport. The kind of things that you guys think about and what you have to do to even get it put together. But so let's talk a little bit about it. This is the second year that the club's been in existence, right?
Second year. A group of young students, listen to me, the old teacher, group of young people here in Watertown sat around and came up with the idea, what does Watertown not have that it may need? And they came up with the idea of curling. Michael Hewer down at the Watertown Brewing Company, his wife Carla, Justin Peterson, the city engineer with Watertown, Brandon Stengel and his wife Lindsay. Brandon works at the Votech. Lindsay is at the Watertown Visitor and Convention Bureau. They kicked it around and thought, hey, what about starting a curling league? Well, about 10 years ago, I was involved in that also. We had a curling league through the Park and Rec, and that didn't really fly because we were at the old Moss Ice Arena and competing against hockey and competing against the figure skating club that took up most of the ice time. We didn't have much time, and it kind of withered away. These guys came up with the idea, and the city had the equipment, which is very expensive to begin with. But they came up with the idea and through a Learn to Curl type of event a year ago. And we attracted, I think it was like 35 or something like that. People came to the Driscoll Ice Arena, a rink at the Prairie Lakes Ice Arena. And we started off a year ago and had 4 teams. Mm-hmm. So about half of them decided to join. There's 4 people on a team. And this year we kicked it off and wondering if we're going to grow. And we threw another Learn to Curl event in, about middle of October. And again, drew about 30-some people. They're just inquisitive, wondering, would like to try it out. And we grew to 8 teams. We had a league in November, December this year, and grew to 8 teams, so about 32 members, which is super. And we're going to take the month of January off here. We're going to try to have another Learn to Curl here coming up February 1 and try another league maybe middle of February with the Olympics coming and seeing if people get interested in it and would like to join us.
Mm-hmm. So the Learn to Curl, is there anything that I need to know or come prepared with or dress a certain way or anything?
You bet. Oh, yes. Good questions. Learn to Curl is free. It's February 1st. It's a Sunday, a week before the Super Bowl, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We have all the equipment. You show up. We will instruct. We'll get you on the ice. We'll get you to shoot the rock. We'll get you to sweep. We'll get you to learn the game. How do you dress? I just wear a pair of good athletic shoes. There are curling shoes that are made specifically for the sport, but I don't think you have to go down that road yet. Mm-hmm. Dress warmish. I think it's like 40-some degrees in the ice arena. I always wear just a sweatshirt, a light pair of gloves, good pair of tennis shoes, and after that, you should be good to go. Come willing to learn, ready to learn, wanting to learn about the sport, and you're going to have a riot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have a team is 4 people, yep. You said. So maybe it would be cool if you came with 3 other buddies or even just another person, however it works out, or you come by yourself and meet up with some new people, whatever. You might even know some people that are there already. How does that kind of work then when you have 4 people? Is there 4 that go each time or 2 at a time or against each other? How's that kind of line up?
Yeah, for the Learn to Curl, you come with a buddy or 2 or what have you. Yes, you can form your own team. The one thing I'm worried about, there might be some singles out there, or a buddy and yourself, or so, a couple of you guys. But you don't have a so-called team. A team is made up of 4 people, men or women. I have a lady on my team. We have about 8 ladies playing in this last league in November, December. Young, old, it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. But you can also come and we will try to form a team of getting you involved with some other team or subbing at least, if that would be the venture you'd like to take. So don't be bashful as far as I don't have a team to join, we will certainly try to hook you up with someone in some capacity to get another team started. And yeah, you meet new people. That's the biggest thing about curling they talk about is a big social event. It's a huge social event. Sportsmanship is at the forefront of curling, something like about golf. You start the game all the time, shake everybody's hand. Good curling, good curling. After the game, you do the same thing. Social event, lots of times the camaraderie and people might meet and chit chat after the game or something, or have a refreshment. So it is something that it's an activity. You will get somewhat of a workout. The so-called sweeping is involved. The camaraderie, the competitiveness, just the uniqueness of the game in itself. They call it chess on ice, as far as how you're going to play the end, where you're going to put your rocks. You're going to try to hide behind a rock or something with a perfect shot or so. You're going to try to take out an opponent's rock. So there's a lot involved, a lot of strategy. We're all novices. So, I mean, for the people coming maybe February 1st to join us, you're not going to be so-called out of your league. We're all still pretty raw at the game, new learning being. I've seen a lot of improvement for some of the people that just started the game a year ago. So yeah, you'd fit in perfectly because it's a social event.
Awesome. And so let's pretend we don't know anything about curling at all. If you're not familiar with this sport, then we talk about the rock. That's the big white thing with the handle on it. So how does it kind of work? Do you have your team of 4? Do 4 people walk up to the the line to where you is it called a serve
shoot it, yeah.
Shoot it? Okay. How does that kind of walk us through a little bit of
each team has 4 people. Each team each individual per team shoots 2 rocks. So you have a so-called lead, the first shooter, that he or she would get up and shoot a rock. The other team lead would shoot a rock. And your team lead, again, would shoot his or her second rock and continue like that each of the 4 members would shoot 2 rocks, which would mean 8 rocks for my team, 8 rocks for your team. And at the end, down at the house, so to speak, the big bullseye down at the other end, you would figure out a score. And it's always just who's the closest to the so-called button. And if there's like your team has blue and my team is red, you have 2 blue rocks closest to the so-called button. I do have a couple rocks in the house, but they're further away, 4 or 5 feet further away than your team would score than 2 points that end. Only one team can score per end. And end is like an inning, and we play 8 ends in a so-called game here with our league. Takes about 2 hours. But everybody shoots 2 rocks, 8 for my team, 8 for your team, and we go from there for trying to figure out score at that one end and playing 8 ends.
Okay. And you can kind of, once you play and figure it out and what you like, you can, I suppose, be a shooter or a sweeper if you like the sweeping part. Though they can.
You're going to do both.
Oh, you do.
So, like, say we're a team, and you're going to be my first shooter. You'd shoot your rocks. I and Doreen would do the sweeping. Okay, and Doreen would shoot, and you and I would do the sweeping.
Oh,
so it can be a fairly decent workout. You're going to go up and down the ice. The sweeping, depending on how much energy you're going to exert, you can get tiring. Because years ago, when I curled up in North Dakota, we'd go off to some bonspiels, and those would be 2-3 day events, and you're curling 2-3 games a day, and you're getting pretty tired and sore up top, and it's a physical game, to so to speak. Now I'm getting older. I'm the so-called skip, which is a captain down at the other end. You just kind of point your broom as far as, okay, throw it here, and I want you to curl it around this rock approximately and end it up in the house. And but everybody shoots. Most everybody sweeps, taking turns in that regard.
Okay, and that's why they call it curling then, because the sweeping causes it to curl a little?
A little bit. The release, if you start the handle at 10 o'clock and release it at 2 o'clock, that'd be going clockwise, okay? So it's going to curl to the right a little bit, depending on the speed you're throwing it down the other end. If you start at 2 o'clock on the rock and release the rock at 10 o'clock, it's going to start curling counterclockwise and curl down a little bit to the left. And depending on the ice and ice conditions, or yes, the sweeping, it can affect as far as the curling itself. You can have it go a little bit straighter. You can help it curl a little bit in itself, and try to get it where you want to get it to in the house, or knock out an opponent rock or something. But yeah, sweeping can be a big factor in the sport of curling.
Wow, that's crazy. Do you have any questions over there, Durian?
So there's a strategy to it then. You're not just like doing a Viking rock throw or bowling straight down the line. You gotta have a twist to it and get it to go with your sweeper. Will make sure. And then the person that's sweeping, it's like a really tiny push broom, isn't it?
It's a small little push broom. It is. Years and years and years ago, there used to be straw brooms, and just like the old sweeping broom itself, they've come to the point where it's just a push broom and just a little pad on the end. And those have become perfected to the point as far as what's the material. And the material, as far as some scratch the ice, some try to smooth out the ice and heat it up, and the whole thinking for sweeping to make the rock go maybe a little bit further. I release the rock and it's going to be 4 feet short of the house, but my sweepers are doing a great job of sweeping in front of it. The rock sits on only a 6-inch area, so that's the only area in front of the rock you need to be sweeping, and heating up the ice, so to speak, and makes the rock glide a little bit further down the ice, and maybe getting it to the house, so to speak, is what you're trying to. The objective is anyway.
Any more?
I think it's cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like shuffleboard, or in the prop they had that game where you'd slide them metal discs. Yeah. I think that's called shuffleboard.
It is. It is out at the prop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it is. It can be challenging, which like a positive challenging. That when you think about shooting it, and then the spinning, and then being like if you're one of the latter ones to shoot, and they've been sweeping, you're kind of maybe taking some of that into effect too. And there's I really enjoy the strategy of kind of thinking how you'd have to put some of that together too. So do they, in between all those matches too, they have to reset with like a Zamboni thing, they got to reset that and stuff too?
Our time out at the ice arena is just a 2-hour time period that they'll come out after ice skating and Zamboni the place. They'll do it after we're done, but for now we had 8 teams, 4 sheets of ice. So we just had a perfect amount of teams and had a perfect amount as far as the space out there is concerned that we are able to use. And after we're done at like 8:30 on a Sunday night, they will come out in Zamboni again, but I think they're done for the night at that time. If we grow as a club, it'll be interesting that we'd possibly have to rent another hour of sheet time and stay a little bit longer. And yes, you would then probably, if you had a 6:30 event, you had maybe an 8 o'clock event, you would have to repebble the ice and so on for the next group to curl. But for now, we haven't got there. Maybe we will by growing it here this spring.
Yeah, cool. And then the league itself will be the 15th of February through March 22nd?
Yep.
Okay. And so Learn to Curl will be February 1st, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And it's good if people can register at watertowncurlingclub.org. So you kind of have an idea of what to expect, I suppose.
Yeah, just so we can somewhat plan. We have a bunch of board members that are volunteering time, such as myself, to come out there and help teach, being an old teacher, that get the people as far as try to explain to them, hopefully ease some anxiety as far as being on the ice or flipping, sliding, or whatever, throwing the rock, or how hard do I throw the rock? Yeah, that's 150 feet down the other end, and there's a unique touch to learning shooting the rock and curling. But we'll get you on the ice, have some fun, and try to teach you what it's all about. You have questions, we'll certainly be there to answer. But sign up on that Watertown webpage, watertowncurling.org. There's a spot there for sign up for the free Learn to Curl event 1 to 3 on February 1st. Then there's also on that page, if you'd like to sign up for the league, maybe we'll just talk about that also on February 1st, that the sign up there. individually, or yes, maybe you do have you and 3 other buddies that you'd like to form a team, so to speak.
Mhm.
And that's what a lot of groups did this last fall, as far as teams are concerned. But don't be bashful. That if you're a solo or if there's 1 or 2 of you, we will find a place for you to get you on a team in some capacity.
Yeah, especially the sub opportunity. I did darts 100 years ago, and that's how I kind of started. I wasn't sure, and then I subbed for darts a couple of times,
Sure.
and then
Yeah.
and then I jumped on a team. So
Yeah.
you never know what it'll be to kind of get you going. So, okay, all right. So that'll be on February 1st. Register at watertowncurlingclub.org, and yeah, that's awesome. You guys have been. I mean, I always hear people talking about, oh, did you hear this? They got that going and being open to it. People, you get spectators sometimes that come by and watch.
We get spectators. Yes. My wife always shows up to watch. We have a group of doctors, 4 doctors make up a team.
Oh,
And their families usually show up. And Dr. Smith, the dermatologist, if you know him at all, I hope he doesn't mind me using his name. He had some relatives from, I believe, is Las Vegas, come right before Christmas, our last event. Huge group sitting over there cheering the doctors on. And they had a lot of fun. They got out on the ice themselves. They'd never been on ice before, living in southern Nevada.
oh,
And threw some rocks and slid around on the ice and thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, we get spectators.
yeah.
Have some fun watching. Afterwards, we stand around, have a beverage, and discuss today's events. And again, a social event, camaraderie, and it's just a fun time. Good people, and something to do in the wintertime, I guess. And that's what the young people who try to start this club try to envision for Watertown, of just another activity.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on in town. I think you dig into it, and here's something that's just a couple of hours, even out of your weekend. You can have some fun. So, are you all good over there, Doreen?
I think I'm going to train for the Olympics.
There you go.
My goodness.
I think so.
All right.
Speaking of the Olympics, the Olympics are coming up, and that's one of the reasons why interest in curling spikes.
Mm-hmm.
The USA team, we have a men and women team competing. It starts February 6th. The curling doesn't start till February 11th for the men, February 12th for the women. But NBC, I'm sure, will show that. And I know a lot of people always talk about they just love watching curling on TV, and it'll be coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Nice, yeah. Well, and then they can go and watch it locally too and cheer you guys on.
Locally, you betcha. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well, Dennis Gall with the Watertown Curling Club, thank you for coming in and sharing this with us and teaching people and trying to, it's the people that take action in the community. I think that should be highlighted, that are taking action to get something done, and we appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to get our message out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that'll do it for Northeast Radio SD, and we'll let Doreen get us back to some music.